When you're out and about, do you hear music drifting your way? From the store's Muzak to your personal playlist, music is different for everyone. For me, and for you. Music reminds us of memories and feelings from our past. Sometimes it reminds us of who we were and who we are today. And sometimes it reminds us of who we're meant to be. I'm a writer, and these are my music memories. A quick note before we start. I now have merch. You can get the Music Memories logo designed by Ellen herself. They'll put the logo on almost anything. The link is in the description for this video as well as the main channel page. Now onto the story. Tale of mystery, musical proportions. King of Discovery by DJ Mars. This song is pretty much my own internet mystery. I discovered this song while digging through the online space of the early 2000s. It's a very catchy song with two distinct bands being mashed together, Daft Punk and Underworld. Now, I have a history with both of these bands. Underworld was on the Hackers soundtrack. That soundtrack really invigorated and kind of started my love of electronic music. The movie was entertaining for a computer nerd as well. I mean, I'm kind of a minor computer nerd because I could never really create the code necessary for a website, but I did know how to hook up a PC and look for porn. But what the movie actually accomplished was that it started a fire in my brain. That fire caused me to buy the soundtrack CD from the local music store for full price. Now, I don't usually pay full price for anything. And I know what I like and usually a way to find it cheaply. But the music from this movie grabbed me, and I had to learn more, quickly. And the fastest way was to trudge myself over to the local mall and buy the soundtrack. On it, there was a crash course of great electronic music. The first one was Halcyon, On and On, by a group I'd never heard of before called Orbital. Their song was playing during the opening credits of the movie, and it was very relaxing and engaging. Orbital would later become one of my more relaxing go-to bands when listening to dance music. There was also a Prodigy song in there. Now at the time, I didn't know who they were, and Fat of the Land hadn't been released yet. The song included was Voodoo People, and it was amazing. The song was portrayed in the movie during a fight scene between computers. Remember, this is a movie called Hackers. The song was a perfect fit for the scene. Obviously, Prodigy didn't get really famous until later on in their breakout song Firestarter. But when I first heard them in Voodoo People, I was entranced. And when they made it to the mainstream, I felt like it was already old news. Like I had already known how great they were. What the hell took everyone so long? The Underworld track was a song with the oddest title that I had ever heard of. It was called Cowgirl. No idea why. I mean, the lyrics were nonsense, and they had nothing to do with cowgirls or sex. But then most of their music has a barrage of nonsensical lyrics. But it doesn't hurt the music. Cowgirl is actually stronger because of the words sprinkled throughout. And honestly, it is still one of my favorite songs to this day. It still gets regularly played in this house, 26 years later. Now, I have kept Underworld on my radar ever since. Their albums have always been a little weird, but with a subtle, energetic flair to them. If you don't think you've heard them, you're probably wrong. Their music has been featured in movies for years, from Pearl's Girls in Val Kilmer's The Saint to Moaner in Batman and Robin, all the way to Born Slippy Nux in Trainspotting 1 and the sequel, Trainspotting 2. So there's a very good chance that you are at least a little familiar with their unique musical genius. There were a few other notable musicians on the soundtrack. They were new to me, and I learned a lot. I learned to love Left Field because of their song Open Up. And the song by the urban dance squad Good Grief was amazing, even if the rest of their music catalog kind of was left behind in my musical memories. There are some others that friends said I should love, like Carl Cox, and I understand that he's an important guy in the electronic music scene, or at least he was back then, but I just didn't really care for his music. It sounded like every other electronic song that came out of Europe at the time. But remember, I was just a white kid in northern Canada, so what did I really know? Daft Punk was another story altogether, and my introduction to their music catalog would take quite a bit longer. I first heard Da Funk while I was scouring the internet looking for their music. The song was bold and strangely obtuse at the same time. It grabbed me. It was released on their debut album, Homework. So, I spent too much time listening to Da Funk and Around the World, and really nothing else from that early CD. I don't remember any other standout songs from that album at all. It was their follow-up album, Discovery, that really captured the world's attention. Hits like One More Time, Superheroes, and Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger were very popular to me and the rest of the world. And again, I felt like I had gotten in on the ground floor before anybody else. And I was kind of smug about it. When they hit the mainstream, they really hit the mainstream. Their music was everywhere. Ads for The Gap and Apple really helped the world stand up and notice who they were. They got an anime director who was famous for works like Star Blazers, Galaxy Express, 999, to create a music video for them. Actually, they created an entire anime movie for the release of their Discovery album. It was a space story told while Da Funk's entire album played. As anime was on the rise in the West at the time, their music reached even a wider audience. The French duo continued to experiment with different electronic musical sounds, going from more robotic sounds of Human After All to more pop and radio-friendly music of Random Access Memories. They were always able to work with other famous musicians as well. They have songs with Kanye West and Pharrell Williams, and both of the songs are incredibly popular. They produced and created the entire soundtrack for the movie Tron Legacy. Underworld had a song called King of Snake. It was released a few years after Cowgirl on the album Boku Fish. It is this track, in conjunction with what seems to be the entirety of the Daft Punk's Discovery album, that's all combined in the song King of Snake. King of Snake ebb and flows in such a creative way. And the way it's produced and mixed is simply amazing. When I need a long song, it is almost 10 minutes long, that slowly causes my emotions to fly, I start playing this track. Now, I have tried to find other music by this musician, but I've had no luck whatsoever. I've Googled and even tried to deep dive into the internet to find anything about this DJ Mars. Any other songs he's made, or whether the artist is even still involved in music. The only song I've heard from their catalog is so good that I can't believe that somebody would ever turn away from that kind of gift. And I understand the likelihood of DJ Mars ever hearing this story is extremely small. But I hope that everyone who hears my story tells others about this song. It's that good. So put it out there in the universe that this song is incredible, and whoever created it, just know that you touched my musical soul. You've even inspired one of my stories. Thank you for listening to another story that fell out of my head. Follow your passions. There's always a chance that your gift will impact a total stranger. And to me, that seems like a good thing. Oh right, I also now have merchandise. Check out the link in this video description, as well as the main channel page. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.